So my friend Kenny texted me, yo man, what is going on with this crypto NFT? What are you doing with it? So I figured, why not make a video and show exactly my portfolio and why I bought these things to help him and help you. Let's dive in. So before I show you my actual crypto portfolio, let me warn you, I suck at investing and you may lose money doing any of this stuff. Crypto is very volatile and very fun at the same time. 3 other bonus things I gotta share before we dive in. Number 1 is I personally allocate 25% of my net worth to risky things. I invested in a church that went out of business. And if it goes away, I'm okay with that. I think you need to decide what is your allocation of cash, real estate, and crypto or risky things. Number 2, most of my decisions from these crypto purchases are from people who are worth over $100 million in crypto, or they work at really famous companies in the crypto space. A lot of times I text them or they text me, here's what I'm doing, and I just do it pretty much blindly. Is that a great way to do it? Nah, I don't know. It's working out, but not always. Number 3, there are way more technical, nerdier, smarter, wealthier people that understand the technology of this stuff. You're not gonna get in this video. I'm just gonna show you the numbers and the amounts and the high level reasons why I purchased this stuff. And lastly, this whole coin crypto era really reminds me of the 2000s.com where so many people are getting rich. There's so much valuation and money getting thrown around with NFTs and crypto. But what's amazing about it is that when the .com crashed and a lot of them went out of business, like the Webvans of the world or the Pets.com, there was amazing companies like Amazon and Netflix that came out of it. I think that's gonna be totally the same with all this coin stuff, is that there's probably tens of thousands of different coins and technologies and now NFTs that are coming out. I think the technology will stay and then there will be a few winners. All right, let me just show you the crypto I have and which ones I bought. So at a high level, I have about $2 million in all this crypto stuff. 80% is in Bitcoin, 10% is Ethereum, and 10% is in the 10 bangers, which are a lot of coins you probably haven't heard of. If anyone's just getting started, I would just grab a little Bitcoin, a little Ethereum, and then maybe grab one of these 10 bangers to get going. Personally, I think Bitcoin will be kind of like internet gold, like a store of value. And recently I got really excited about Ethereum as internet dollars as a way that you can transact with removing Visa and MasterCard, which is gonna be amazing. So for me, I have about 1.5 million, give or take, in Bitcoin, and I have a few 100,000 in Ethereum. I like Ethereum and I've gotten really excited because you can buy Mooncats, which are digital cats. OpenSea.io is NFT marketplaces, and there's a lot of these other digital marketplaces that are being built on Ethereum. And a lot of people may not even realize they're using Ethereum to make these purchases. Let's get into the newer coins, because I think that's a lot of the stuff that people are really fascinated by. At a high level with all these different coins, what I'd recommend you doing, pick your asset allocation for how much you want to do, and dollar cost average. So I'm still doing this today where I spend somewhere between $5,000 and $15,000 a month just automatically buying the same coins that I like. So the 10 bangers, these are coins that are gonna 10x or are gonna go right down to 0. All these coins came out years ago and they came out during this ICO phase, which is initial coin offering. So it's kind of like a public offering of these coins. And I honestly thought every single one of them sounded like a scam. And I was like, I don't want to get involved in any of it. And as it's matured, some of these actually seem really interesting and useful and really exciting. First off is these game coins. So if you play Farmville, I guess it's kind of older school or whatever people are playing on their phones, Bedazzled, I have no idea. If you buy a virtual currency in that game, you can't take it anywhere else. So there's 2 major coins that I've been interested in and bought that you buy their coin and you can use it across any platform, which I find really, really interesting. First off is Engine Coin, that's ENJ, so I have about $2,000 of them. And the second one is Decentralized. So that's a more specific game, but they have a coin Mana, M-A-N-A. So for me, again, with these 10x bangers, just to remind you, these are all ones that might go to 0 or they're gonna shoot through the roof. Like Engine, for example, 3x in like the past few weeks. It's pretty crazy. So I definitely am interested in the game coin space. I'm not a gamer, but I like the idea that now I can have tokens or coins I can use across any game online. Next up is usable coins. So I think this is a really fascinating space. How do you blockchain? I know it's kind of weird to say. Some of these like older school businesses. So first up is Helium. I heard about Helium. My buddy Sam Feldman, he's AKA the Crypto Kid, and their ticker is HNT. He texted me, he's like, yo, if you do one thing today, don't breathe oxygen, just go buy Helium. And I just do what he tells me. Like he told me probably about 6 months ago to buy more Ethereum at the time. And I was in a meeting, I just bought $10,000 worth and now I don't know how much it's up, but it's up a lot. So for Helium, what's interesting about this coin is that it's for Wi-Fi access. That's what's so wild. So if you go to helium.com, you can learn more about it. And Sean Fanning, I think the guy from Napster is behind it. What it does is that you can put up Wi-Fi spots in your house and then it creates a Wi-Fi network across the world. And then you use these tokens to get the Wi-Fi access, or you get the tokens if you have Wi-Fi, if you share Wi-Fi from the Helium like HubSpot. So it's pretty damn interesting what they're doing with it. And Sam thinks the tokens are seriously undervalued, and if that Wi-Fi becomes universal, it's gonna be a really powerful thing. So that is Helium. Next up is VeChain. So one of my good buddies, Eric Southwell, told me about this one. Shout out, Rich. VET is their ticker symbol. So I don't quite clearly understand what this one does, but it's for supply chain management. I have a huge holding in this, around $15,000 and growing. But BMW, Walmart, and a lot of major chains are using VET to actually improve their supply chain operations. The other thing that's pretty interesting is the guy from Louis Vuitton, like one of their VPs in engineering, is the guy behind it. So definitely someone with clout. I really get excited about these usable coins because I can see it in the real world. It's a little bit more tangible than some of the other stuff. Next up is really, really fascinating. If you love money, make sure you hit that like button because I like money too. So next up is Ethereum alternative. So you've heard of Bitcoin, maybe you heard of Ethereum, but there's actually people competing with them. I didn't even really know that's what I bought when I bought these guys. But my friend who works at one of the larger crypto companies was like, yo, you've got to buy these. They're going to blow up. Because if Ethereum has mistakes or they aren't able to scale, which they're having problems with, people are going to start looking and building around alternatives. So the three that I've got are Cardano, which is ADA, Polkadot, which is DOT, and Algorand, which I think is ALGO. These are all just alternatives. So let me read you like the boring description that they wrote on the website. So Polkadot is an open source sharing multi-chain protocol that facilitates the cross-chain transfer of any data or asset types, not just tokens, thereby making a wide range of blockchain interoperable with each other. Obviously. So Cardano just got listed on Coinbase and it shot up 30%. Polkadot is the next largest Ethereum alternative, so I went and bought a lot of that. My thought is that Coinbase is going to list it, and I do think that when you put it on Coinbase, there's a lot more people that can buy it and it's more trusted. The other thing that's interesting with DOT that I'm just getting into is staking. So if you've heard about staking, that means it's not eating the meat. What it means is that when you're doing blockchain stuff, you have to verify transactions. So staking it makes it easier to verify transactions on the blockchain. And you can actually get 14% returns on the amount of crypto that you stake. So DOT is giving a 14% return, which is crazy. I saw that on staked.us. So nothing I'm exploring there. It's still really early. As well as Algorand as an alternative. It's really interesting because it's by an MIT professor. So I put a good amount, about $5,000 each into each of those kind of alternatives, and I'm growing those positions. This is DEX. So these are decentralized exchanges. There's two interesting problems with DEX and DeFi, which you're gonna hear about these coins, is that number one, if you wanna get a loan, you go to the bank. Hello, Mr. Banker. Hello, Jimbo. And then you have to kiss their ass, and then they finally give you a loan, and there's a bunch of fees. So these coins are trying to remove bankers and decentralize finance, which I find really, really fascinating. The other thing that these coins are solving, and I'm gonna break it into two categories, is that if I have $1 in US and you have a euro, how do we exchange it? Do I just give you it? No, because what if there's different values? So there are decentralized exchanges to be able to actually transfer money between different coins. So I'm really excited about all of these. So the top ones in the decentralized exchanges are Uniswap, SushiSwap, and Bancorp. So I have about 8,000 in Uniswap, 10,000 in SushiSwap, and almost 10,000 in BNT. So these are really interesting because they are exchanges and they provide liquidity between the different tokens by getting their token, which is kind of weird. And now there's DeFi coins. So these are coins. One is called Compound. I have about 5,000. I have about 5,000 in Aave. So just to read the technical thing, Compound it's a decentralized interest rate market that allows users to supply and borrow Ethereum tokens at variable interest rates. Yeah, so it's DeFi. It's super cool. A lot of these things might seem stupid, might seem silly, might seem like it's never gonna happen, but a lot of the greatest innovations in the world sound like that in the beginning. So I have Aave and Compound, AAVECOMP. So I'm not entirely sure what these next coin categories are. It's in the DeFi space, but a guy who works in the industry was like, just buy them. So I don't fully understand what they're gonna do, but one is Synthetics Networks. I got about 5 Gs in that, which is SNX. The next one is the Graph, or GRT. I have about 5,000 in that. So these ones, I don't really know what they do, but I just trusted a smart guy, and sometimes it works out. But again, this is play money for me, and I know the numbers might seem high to you, or maybe it seems really low, but it's fun. I'm really enjoying it. So this could be a 10xer, or it could go right down to zero. But those are two in the DeFi space that I'm really sure what they do. That's life. Next one up is Chainlink. It's kind of its own thing. I'm not exactly sure what the hell it is, but it's backed by Oracle. We all know that Oracle's a giant-ass Fortune 100 company, so I'm a fan of that. It's a decentralized network that provides smart contracts. It sounds just like Ethereum, so it's kind of its own massive thing. I haven't put a ton in it, but it's really popular. It's like one of the top coins out there today, so I wanted to be a part of that. Last section is Ethereum Help. So there's a thing called Polygon, or it's now called Matic, and it was built to help scale Ethereum. So there's a lot of issues with Ethereum because it wasn't built to have this much volume at this point. So there's things like Polygon Matic that help it scale. So I picked up a little bit of that. Looks like I have about $1,300 of Polygon. The last one is BlockFi. So I have about $300,000 in BlockFi. This almost seems too good to be true, which maybe some of this is, maybe some of it isn't. But what BlockFi does is you can put deposits and then they loan out your money. So right now, just for example, if you go to your Chase Bank, you give them $100, they go and loan that out to someone for a mortgage or for a small business loan. And that's the same thing these are doing with crypto. So right now they're paying an 8% interest rate, which seems a little bit too good to be true, but it has been getting paid out, so it's been pretty damn good interest. So I would, I'll have a link below if you want to check out BlockFi for your crypto. With my crypto portfolio, I also have some crypto in NFTs. So instead of having the tokens, you buy digital assets, or as I call it, digital dumbasses. So I am an investor, or I bought moon cats. So they are digital cats. It's supposedly one of the earliest NFTs that have been created. So I bought 4 of them for about 1 Ethereum each. So I spent almost $10,000 on 4 digital cats, as I'm a great cat daddy. My friend Eric really got excited about it. CryptoPunks are like $50,000 each minimum. The NBA Top Shot stuff is really popular right now. I think a lot of this stuff is gonna go down. I think it's been fun to experiment with that. Do I think it's gonna make a lot of money? That's not really my plan. It's more just kind of like a fun game to like own these cats and talk about it. And I even ended up giving one on Twitter, which got almost 3,000 retweets. One of the interesting things about a lot of this crypto stuff that I find fascinating is that you can actually see everyone's money. So you can see how much I paid for it if you know my account. You can see how much I sell it for. Same thing with all the Top Shot stuff, NBA Top Shots, which is similar. You can see the prices of everything, which you don't really get that transparency in a lot of markets. So how do I recommend for people to get started investing in crypto? That is a really difficult question. And maybe a simple question is that I'd recommend for 99% of everyone else out there, take a small amount of money each month and buy a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, and that's it. Most of you degenerates though are gamblers and want to do crazy ass shit and buy a lot of the stupid coins or fad coins. Those aren't actually real coins. I'm literally calling them stupid or fad. And majority of them will go away. So I talked about in the video the ones I buy, but at a high level, if you have $100 a month or $50 a month and you want to experiment with this, I would recommend probably buying around 70 or 80% Bitcoin, 20%, 10 or 20% Ethereum, and then 5 or 10% maybe buy an NFT or buy some of the more newer coins. So for me, I really like VeChain because you can use it for supply chain, or Helium because it's actually a Wi-Fi network, which I find really interesting. Beyond that, I think a lot of the stuff that people are talking about in crypto now, it's just one person trying to get other people to buy it so that their prices go up. Same thing with the NFT stuff. Like, oh yeah, everyone should be buying a Mooncat, which you should, because it makes my Mooncats more valuable, but I don't know if that's necessarily the right approach. So for the different platforms that I would say you checking out to buy this stuff, if you've never heard about any of it, Coinbase is the #1 top big dog, big person in that category. On Coinbase.com, you can buy the popular coins. It doesn't have a lot of these more edgier or newer coins. A lot of times, if you're doing transactions, use pro.coinbase.com because you actually get cheaper transaction fees. One thing that I do with my Coinbase is every week I do $500 of buying of Bitcoin and $500 a week of buying Ethereum. Why? Because I don't want to think about it. And even if there's some fees with that, it's just easier. So if Bitcoin goes up, it's buying. If it goes down, it's buying. And I've left it on since 2016. And I'm gonna probably leave it on until 2600. I just find that easier because I do believe in this. I think there's a lot of interesting use cases, but I just don't want to really think about it too often. And so dollar cost averaging in any type of investment is great because you're not trying to time the market. I buy things that I'm never gonna sell. I think about the Warren Buffett approach, which is the 10-year idea. So what would you buy right now, go on an island for 10 years, come back, and you'd be happy with your decision? So for me, I recommend dollar cost averaging into this stuff because I don't know if it's gonna be up or down by the time you've watched this video. And personally, I don't really care because I think for the long term, it's gonna do well, at least with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I just put a little bit of money in each week, set it on autopilot and forget it. And you can do that in Coinbase and other services. If you like this video, you are gonna love this video right up here where I talk about what the hell is NFT anyways. Check that out. I love you and I'll see you out there.